This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration. Let's celebrate.
Hey, Skywalkers. Well, we were going to take it slow this week and get ready for Solo next week, but then news of Star Wars Celebration 2019 hit. And with so much going on, slowing down is just not in the cards.
Not only did we put out the Solo press conference on our YouTube channel, but we also managed to squeeze in a classic Marvel Star Wars comics with Randy Martinez. Then yesterday, the Star Wars show gave us the answer we've been waiting for since the end of Star Wars Celebration Orlando last year.
See you at the next celebration, wherever it may be.
So we do know the city of Star Wars Celebration 2019.
And it is Chicago.
We know the dates.
Thursday, April 11th through Monday, the 15th, 2019, which is the weekend before Easter weekend.
Oh, thank goodness. We know the place.
McCormick Place, which is the largest convention center in North America. And tickets, including single day, multi-day, and VIP passes, will go on sale Tuesday, June 5th at noon Central Time at StarWarsCelebration.com. So everyone, tell Siri to remind you.
Now, when the news hit that Star Wars Celebration 2019 will take place in Chicago, of course, it stirred up a Rock Hornets nest of controversy, since everyone thought and would swear up and down it was going to be in Anaheim. But of course, there were loads of fans who were very, very excited about this, one of which is with us right here, right now. All the way from the Blast Points podcast, it is Jason Gibner. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Richard and Sarah. How you folks doing tonight?
We are excited to talk with you, to someone who's excited about Chicago. So,
yeah, we figured that we can't do this alone because it would be one-sided. So that's where I thought, okay, who lives over there in the Midwest? Oh, Jason does. We'll bring Jason on and
yes,
get his point of view. So, how stoked were you when you found out that it would be taking place in Chicago?
Well, it was a lightning round of emotions where at first I was shocked and I couldn't even believe it. I saw the announcement that the Star Wars show had news on Celebration 2019 and I kind of dreaded it. I was like, oh, where is it going to be? Okay. Like just give me it's like going to the doctor. Just give it to me straight, doc. What do I got to do? And then it's going to be in Chicago. And I was, really? Like Chicago? Okay. Cause I'm in Michigan. I'm just about 4 hours away from Chicago, and with the time difference, it's really 3 hours. And my co-host is I think 20 minutes from the convention place. So his work office is like 3 or 4 blocks away from where the McCormick place is.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
We were just kind of like, well, this will be different. And that's good news. Like I've said, we would go to Star Wars Celebration if it was on the moon, but we'd figure it out. But you always figure it out. But I was really surprised, and I think kind of like everyone, we're gonna go. But even if you're far away or close, but it just raises a whole lot of questions.
Yeah. So for one thing, April in Chicago, this is not like springtime here in LA. What's the weather like?
Yeah, April in the central Midwest can be very unpredictable.
Okay.
We could have gorgeous weather in the 70s with, where you're walking down the street in a t-shirt and jeans. Or it could be a blizzard.
Oof.
Oh, you're so lucky. So lucky. I love me some snow. I love it.
So it could get really interesting. I mean, I think leading up to that, there's going to be a lot of people really watching the weather forecasts.
You said that Gabe is only 20 minutes away, and there's nothing like just hopping in the car and 20 minutes later being at the convention, like at the Anaheim Convention Center.
Yes.
So close.
I was talking to Gabe today about it, and he was just like, he was saying it's a weird feeling because he's like, well, I could go home. I'm not going to, but I could if I said, yeah, if you want to go home and like take a shower or see your family for a little bit during the day, do it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that 5 days, we're pretty much off the grid. So anyone looking to get a hold of us, we're off the grid. Don't even bother calling. So this starts on a Thursday. Okay, Thursday the 11th, all the way through Monday. That's a long time.
It is, and
Right.
I'm very excited about this, just because I know at most conventions, Sunday's kind of the throwaway day. So because people are leaving or, things like that. So it tends to be a much more chill day, but then you feel like you have to scramble and get everything in on like the Friday and the Saturday. Right?
Yeah.
So I think with one extra day, the Monday will become kind of the optional day, whereas Sunday will be full on like, yes, this is a convention day.
I wonder if they had scheduled this around spring break. There's got to be something, because C2E2 is happening a couple of weekends beforehand, March 29th through March 31st. So we knew they couldn't have it that weekend, but maybe this is the weekend for the Chicagoans' spring break, or there's some kind of a spring break around there, because there's a certain week in April that we don't go to Disneyland.
Well,
because everyone there, because it's spring break and you never get on anything.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily that or the fact that they'll have enough information about, say, the second season of Resistance, Star Wars Resistance, and it's 8 months before episode 9, which I believe with the Force Awakens 2015 Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2015, wasn't that also in April?
It was in April, yes.
So it's going to be a way to tease the film in advance.
Oh, yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
All geared toward episode 9.
Right.
But I just wanted it maybe in the fall. I want a fall celebration.
Well, we can't have everything now, can we?
Well, I guess we can't. All right. It's not in Anaheim. It's not in the fall. I'm just never happy. Okay.
There's got to be a reason, right? That 5 days, because that was something that raised a question. Like, well, yeah, what's Monday going to be? There'll be episode 9. There'll be the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be probably the second season of Resistance.
Yep.
Probably some Freemaker Adventures, maybe.
Oh.
Will we start to talk about the future of the standalone films? Will Rian Johnson's films be ready to be talked about in a little bit in an early way?
Yeah, and a lot of Disney streaming service shows will be previewed. I'm sure Jon Favreau is going to have a big presence there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is all going to be like the future of Star Wars. So I think us vintage fans are going to be like on the sidewalk and, we'll work for vintage content.
Well, I do think Monday will probably be like a half day or something. Like it won't be a full
Right, of course. And
day.
maybe that Thursday will be a preview day. They would have said if it was going to be a preview day.
Yeah. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I'm not complaining about a 5-day celebration.
Yeah.
I'm in it there. Now, Jason, how many celebrations have you been to so far?
I went to Celebration 2 in Indianapolis. I went to Celebration 3 in Indianapolis. And then my next one was Anaheim. And then I did Orlando. So this will be my 5th.
Okay.
What kind of things do you hope to see at Star Wars Celebration 2019 Chicago? Caffeine free to the max. I'm not sure what to call this.
I'm at the point where I with Celebration, I like just soaking it all in. I like some of the smaller, weirder panels as much as I love the big giant hoopla event panels.
Mm-hmm.
But also I just like going and just soaking in, sounding like hippy dippy here, but I love just I love the energy of the place.
Yes.
And as long as it's got that special Star Wars Celebration unique just energy in the air, then it's like, yeah, we're back home. We're at Star Wars Celebration because that's the only convention I feel that when I go.
Definitely. And I know the more Star Wars celebrations you go to, it really becomes like a family reunion.
Oh, yeah. Especially
yeah.
when you only get a chance to see these people
Yes.
at a celebration or a big Star Wars event.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes more about the gatherings more than the panels. Because for Celebration Orlando, we skipped Mark Hamill's panel to do our Hoojib hop.
Right.
Because we really wanted to hop around that convention floor as Hoojibs with all of our Skywalkers. And that was one of the highlights there.
Definitely.
And I know the podcast stages will that should be its own wing. Oh, at this point, its own wing of the convention center.
And a much bigger room.
Yeah. What, more than 20 seats? Yeah. Yes, please.
And another day added, that's more opportunities for more Star Wars podcasts.
Yay!
Not pulling any favorites for any that I may be involved in, but we can keep our fingers crossed.
Definitely. No, absolutely.
Yeah. But you know what? I really think because there's so much content coming our way, like we just discussed, it needs to be 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it will be geared toward Rian Johnson and Jon Favreau.
Okay.
That's going to be my prediction.
Now, 2019 is not necessarily a date for Star Wars movies, like a anniversary date.
Well, yeah.
It is? What?
Oh, 20 years from the date of Phantom Menace. Yeah.
Oh my, 20
years. Yeah.
Oh
you know what? I don't even want to hear about it, okay? I was around for the 40th anniversary.
I know.
For Star Wars, so you keep that down.
Graduating high school.
Yeah, and in some of these posts for Celebration 2019, they're saying it's the 20th anniversary for celebrations. It's like, oh, not if you ask this podcaster, because I'm going back to Celebration 0 back in 1987.
Yep.
All right, at some point that's going to be a thing.
Thanks, Seinfeld.
All right, now we put this up on our Facebook page on our group.
Yes.
Asking Skywalkers, hey, so what do you think about this? And we got a lot of results.
Yeah, so Jeremy Hunt said, I'm excited, but dang, our family really wanted to go back to Anaheim. Gonna have to work through that. Well, okay, so talking about that, because I know Anaheim has the pull of Disneyland and Orlando has the pull of Disney World, but Chicago really is a great city and it has a lot of cool things, like all the museums there.
Like the Lucasfilm Museum. Never mind.
No, but like the Science Museum there is amazing, and there's another couple museums.
Yeah, but are we going to be going to museums?
We're not, but I'm just saying if you extend your trip out to actually sightsee in Chicago, you won't be disappointed. Unless the weather is
a lot
weird.
of culture. A lot of culture, a lot of snow.
Yes.
Yeah. Margaret Mays says something that I've been hearing a lot of, and never been to Chicago.
You've been. Okay, yes, you've been now.
We've been, but I'm seeing a lot of people happy about Chicago because they've never been.
Okay.
Randy Martinez says, I love Chicago, but it's a very odd choice. April 11th could still be very cold. Went there for a spring break one year and it was 10 degrees.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm loving this.
He said minus 10 degrees.
Oh, Mike, I'm loving this.
Anthony Fox said, sure, give Celebration to the city that didn't want the Lucas Museum. Makes sense. That's terrible.
To Chicago's credit, they wanted it, but it was that small little group who just wanted to exert their power and take down the most powerful man in the history of history.
Yes.
Just saying.
Well, Jess Waltz says, I'm loving that the Midwest is getting some Celebration love again. So yay. I'm glad there are people who are happy.
Right.
Okay, Matt Clifton's cracked me up. Dudes, I'm already here. Where is everybody?
Yeah, Matt Clifton is a Celebration nut.
Yes.
He loves it. And if you want a great survival guidist, he's the guy.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's a new term, a guidist. Mm-hmm. And Matt Clifton also says the parks would honestly not be able to handle the sheer capacity of everyone, meaning the Disney parks. Mm-hmm. Thousands and thousands of people. It'd just be too much. Now.
Yes.
Okay, let's develop on that. So, Jason, what do you take away from that?
Yeah, I agree. And I wanted to get your opinion on this. I was really surprised too that I think a lot of people thought it was going to coincide with Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one more thing we didn't bring up when talking about the content of 2019.
Oh, yeah, geez.
A lot of it will. This is going to be a big commercial for Galaxy's Edge.
Right.
When does Galaxy's Edge open up? Have they set a date?
No.
Have they,
Well,
there's rumors.
According to Tom Hodges here, and he works over there at Disneyland, he says, which is exactly why I'm surprised by the location. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens in May. I don't.
Yeah.
He says that very matter-of-factly, but
Yeah.
I have not heard that.
And we heard from a very chatty security guard one night that it was going to open in August.
Right. Like late August.
I'm surprised. I'm just really, I really thought it was going to coincide with that. But I wonder if, they know, and it's the truth, we're all going to go to Celebration. And we're all eventually going to go to Galaxy's Edge, either right away or eventually.
Right.
And I wonder, some people probably listening out there know, but I wonder how early these things are booked.
Yeah.
For celebrations. And I wonder if, because episode 9, I think like all the saga films were originally going to come out in May.
Mm-hmm.
What episode 9 was originally supposed to come out in May. And I wonder if this was a done deal.
That's a good point.
Years ago, and if they had this booked for April to come out before the release of 9 in May, and at this time, they might have said, well, what about Galaxy's Edge? And who knows if, the people at the parks were like, don't worry about us, because, the parks, it could say, who knows what could happen with delays.
Right.
Don't wait for us. Do episode 9. We'll let us finish the park. And I don't know. I wonder if this has been just kind of a thing that has existed for a while.
Yeah, I think Colin Trevorrow messed this whole thing up for us. Thanks, Colin.
Well, Joey Pittman brings up an interesting point, that Disney could have capitalized every evening of Celebration with a limited ticket preview of Galaxy's Edge. Look how much they're charging for a preview of Pixar Pier. They could double that and people would pay. And the Pixar Pier preview night, which is, I believe, 5 or 6 hours, is $299 per person. Someone did the math, is like, that's $50 an hour.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, that's ridiculous.
People are coming all over the world and country for Celebration to drop an extra $300 to $500.
Well, $300 for one
Pixar,
person.
Pixar Pier, but for
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge,
Oh,
they
it's
know
gonna
they
be
could charge
more.
$500, and people would pay it, tap themselves out, not feed the kids and the dogs, and
Yeah.
maybe falter on their mortgage, but they would do it. I'm not pointing any fingers at myself. Even though we don't have kids or dogs, we do have a bunny.
Yes. It
But-
eats a lot.
Yeah, but that's a good point that if they had Galaxy's Edge open at the same time, they could spread it all out. So have a limited number of tickets
Yes.
per night
Yes.
and really stretch that out. That would have been a perfect business move, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Galactic Nights. I mean, that
Yeah.
was what, 150 or
Yep.
120?
Well,
It was
yeah, I think 120.
120. Yeah,
Something
and it was
like that.
But it was, I had never been to one of those, like it's limited.
Right. It's a ticketed event.
Yeah,
Like,
with a small amount of people in the park,
Mhm.
and just being able to just go on Star Tours over and over and over again with no line.
Yeah.
Right.
That was great. I loved it.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
for that alone, it was worth the money for the 5 hours we were there.
And it's also fun because at those ticketed events, you can also dress up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And last tour to Endor, the first Star Wars Disney park tie-in, that was fantastic, even though it was 115,000 degrees and
Ugh.
I was so sick.
Yep.
I still won all the trivia contests and I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just so confused as to their choice in Chicago, because they're just not maximizing their potential for getting that last dollar. It's like leaving money right there on the table. It's like, this is not something that Lando would have ever done. He would have coordinated this much better. We can make an extra buck? Well, okay, Anaheim, here we come.
But I think we have answered our own question in the fact that construction is very changeable.
Right.
And so you can't really plan a big convention that's must be planned years out around something that's still being constructed. Perhaps when we next get Celebration and, Galaxy's Edge has been around a while, then they'll bring it back and do some kind of, won't be preview nights anymore.
Well, that's the thing. The big draw will be the preview night to be the first ones in.
Right. But this would be like an event that would happen in Galaxy's Edge. I'm sure they're going to do that eventually. It just wouldn't be preview.
I've got to think, too, because it's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. They're not just going to leave fans hanging. I mean, the 501st party is always most fun. But aside from that, I got to think that they've got something up their sleeve that they're going to announce. It's going to happen one of those nights.
Right.
That's going to be something for the fans.
That's true.
I don't know. I can't imagine what.
Even fan run things pop up as well. Like the Drowning in Moonlight gala. So.
Yeah, and Donald Wicks always has something going on with the Rebel Legion. And like we were just saying with the 501st. So there'll be a lot of those. But it was always so much fun to throw that big Disney night in there as well.
It was. Definitely.
I got to think they're not just going to leave folks hanging. There's got to be something happening.
They're going to shuttle people to Anaheim?
Sounds good.
I won't be opposed to that. Maybe one shuttle goes to Anaheim, one goes to Orlando. I don't know.
Maybe they'll take a Disney cruise ship and put it on Lake Michigan, and then we can go on the cruise ship for the night and have a gala. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I want to do that.
Nice. All right, but you know what? Logan Lanou brings up a very interesting point too.
Yes, he says, if you are looking for Anaheim, there is always D23 Expo. I think I will miss Celebration 2019 and try to attend D23, which is in August of 2019 in Anaheim.
Ever been to a D23 Expo, Jason?
I haven't. No, I'd love to. I kind of lived through the D23 experiences through you guys, actually, with your posts and your podcast.
They're amazing.
I feel like I'm there following you guys. So.
Yes. Now, D23 is one of those expos. It's only 3 days, and that really needs to be expanded to 4, or now I want 5 now.
Well, now with Marvel and Star Wars, 3 days is that's just the rev up to all the big panels.
Yeah. But it was already announced that it's only 3 days, so...
Right. So, I do hear a lot of people saying that, hey, you know what, maybe I will miss the next Celebration because of D23, which maybe is not the worst choice.
Yeah.
But whereas D23, you get a lot of big announcements, which you do see on Twitter, like Jason, you were just saying, whereas Celebration is more about the fan experiences and getting together with all your fellow podcasters and bloggers and cosplayers and friends.
Yeah.
So many questions.
I know.
so many questions. We could just keep on going all night long, but I think we should wrap that up here before our heads just ooze orange goo.
Yeah, is there any other thing you want to say about Star Wars Celebration Chicago?
No, I just I'm very excited, and like I said, I would go to Star Wars Celebration on the moon. I'm happy I can drive to it, and I can't wait to say hi to both of you in beautiful Chicago. Maybe, we can get a...
Grab Gino's Pizza together.
Right.
Do you know what I just thought of? A while ago at another convention, I think Amy Radcliffe was on, and she was talking about Tauntaun races.
What?
Remember at New York Comic-Con?
Yeah.
People had those inflatable Tauntauns.
Oh, funny.
Oh, we got to do this.
That would be hilarious.
Oh, we got to do this.
Okay.
All right, we're going to steal that idea.
All right, put down your notes. I saw you already had notes going for Star Wars Celebration 2019. Let's do it.
You know what? Go on to Amazon. We'll send out the link to everybody. We've got to do this. And someone's got to make a Wampa costume.
Oh, there's going to be... I feel like there's going to be a lot of Hoth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe some things from Solo, because they have a snow planet. What? Not talking about Solo right now. Can't say anything. Maybe some Star Killer base.
Yeah, we'll open up a can of worms. Say one thing, and then questions are going to get asked, and then...
All right. So before we go into that, Rock Hornets Nest, which is my new fun saying we just learned from classic Marvel Star Wars comics. Jason, tell us all about Blast Points.
Blast Points podcast. With new episode every Tuesday. You can get all of our social media links, which we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. You can get it on blastpointspodcast.com. And look for Blast Points wherever you get your Star Wars podcasts and check us out.
Can you tell us what's coming up next week? Give us a little sneak preview.
Oh, next week on Tuesday, we have a special episode where we are at the Star Wars Power of Costume exhibit at the DIA, the Detroit Institute of Arts in Detroit, Michigan. They have an amazing, amazing Star Wars prop and costume exhibit. And today we got to spend the entire day in the exhibit, and we talked to tons of people, and you get our reactions, which may or may not make any sense as we go through and freak out. But Tuesday is a special episode where we like to think of it as like the episodes where the Brady Bunch left the house.
Nice.
Those are Blast Points on the road.
I can picture Jason and Gabe in the Grand Canyon just getting lost in a canyon of Star Wars costumes.
Oh, that's pretty much what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to tell the audience, like you guys got to do the actual media preview of this costume exhibit. So you got to talk to some people in charge, right?
Yeah, we talked to some fantastic folks from the Smithsonian Traveling Exhibition, and they told us a little bit about the history of the exhibit and how it changes from city to city and what makes it unique in the Detroit location. And it's a really amazing exhibit. We are honored to be there, and I think it's going to make for a fun episode before we go completely insane with Solo.
So without giving away the moisture farm, can you tell us something that you learned on this tour?
Oh, it's one thing that blew my mind that was Watto's Dice, which on the side of Watto's Dice, it said JAK for Jack Productions, know. And not so much something I learned, but something that I wasn't expecting to be there that just blew my mind was so much of the original Ralph McQuarrie art. And how small those iconic paintings that we've been looking at for 40 years, they're so small. And some of Joe Johnston's original storyboards, or being able to look up close at Doug Chiang art from episode 1 and just looking at his process, seeing the pen on paper from Doug Chiang art, it was just being that close to something that you've looked at for so long was just unbelievable. And it's what it's all about, being a Star Wars fan. It was just unbelievable.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, we look forward to hearing the next episode of Blast Points podcast.
Yes.
All right, so let's wrap it up there. And I know you said that wherever Celebration was going to be held, that you and Gabe were going to go. But if it does go to Alderaan, you know what they say, never land on Alderaan.
So true. So true.
Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration. Let's celebrate.